Okay, episode 128 of the Real Life Caddy Podcast. What we got today, Zabbo?
Well, we've talked to major golf champions in the past. We've talked to PGA Tour professionals, journeymen. Today we have an actual real-life municipal club pro in our presence. A club pro that I've caddied for about 5-6 years now.
How exciting.
Yeah.
And we know that Zabbo only gets the best of the best.
That's true.
Welcome, Dave Thompson.
Welcome. Good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You're a regular listener, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I probably came in around episode 65, maybe. Loyal since then, and I've dabbled back in the early ones a few times as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's pretty well trained at this point. You know, he was like, "Don't worry, I'll pay you tomorrow." But I've been listening to it. I'm up on the tipping. Don't worry, you're taken care of. And also, anytime the beverage cart would roll around, anytime we'd had Zabbo, we would like something. One morning he brought me a Coke. The next morning he had a bag of Chipotle waiting for me. I mean, he did it right.
Well, as a regular listener, you know how every episode pretty much starts. We have caddy stories. I will start.
Okay.
Because the last couple of days in this event that you're playing in, I also had a podcast listener.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I met him.
Sean McLaughlin.
Oh, legendary.
And he was exactly the same. Every time the cart came around, every time we went past the halfway house, he's offering. I said, I'm fine. He goes, sure. Whoa. I went, no, I don't want anything. I'm good. He says, oh, but I know what you guys are like. I said, no, don't tar me. Don't tar me with the same brush as him.
Right.
I said, that's Zabbo. He wants fed, not me.
Yeah.
I'm happy with water or nothing.
It's the right thing to do.
But he was in town. It was great. Always wonderful caddying for people that listen to the podcast. However, this lad, Sean McLaughlin from Buffalo, he now lives in Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
He made the notebook twice, boys.
Oh,
Number one, he saw a lady out there, thick. Not like UK thick between the ears, thick, American thick.
Okay.
And he said, you know a girl is thick when she makes black leggings turn grey. Okay. So I said, that's going in the book, Sean. No names will be mentioned. He said, no, I own that. Yeah. I want full credit.
Full credit.
Wow.
You get it.
Good for him.
So we got that one as a positive. We get to 14 at the wee course, par 5. I'm talking to his pals over in the fairway. He very rudely interrupted. He's hit his drive down the right-hand side. We know how wet the golf courses are, correct?
Oh, yes, very wet.
So he interrupts us very rudely, type of thing I would do. I said, what do you want? He said, listen, it's 187 to the pond. If I hit 150, will it run out?
Dumb question.
Dumb question.
Add it to the book.
Straight into the book. Yeah. So he was up 1, down 1. But you're out here playing in this little Strixon event, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Every year. This is like, what, 5? I mean, you might have missed 1 year, but like 5 or 6 years now.
I think it's more than that. I think this is, there was a big thing of debate over the last couple of days I think it's 7.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been a wonderful event, and Strixon puts on a nice show for us. So,
how long has Zabbo worked for you in this?
Every time.
Really?
Every time I've been here.
So originally, the way I got linked up with Dave is there was a pro that works at his club, or who worked at his club, that I worked with in Sarasota, Florida. So at Metairie Country Club, and he went back to Illinois and started working there at his club, and he happened to qualify incentive trip for this event. And
an incentive!
You sell enough Cleveland and Strixon stuff, you get the invite. So I caddied for Rick Nelson and Dave probably 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's been a good ride since. Rick's since moved back to Florida. He's living the dream back in Sarasota, Florida. But yeah, it's been a good run.
Do you realize how much food and drink you've probably bought Zabbo in that time?
Don't total it up. Well,
yeah.
That's enough to feed a small
enough
village.
to keep him happy. That's the goal.
Oh, never happy. Never happy.
There's always more.
There's always more. Caddies, there's always more. How did this week go, boys? Any stories?
Well, you saw the stories. Oh man! So in this tournament, you got 4 guys who probably knew each other, right? Because you did a 4 caddy for 2 days. So we didn't know the other 2, but we're paired with them for 2 days.
Oh no.
Oh no is right. Didn't take a caddy the first day. They said on the first or second, we should have taken a caddy.
Yeah.
Looking for his ball. This one guy, no idea where his ball was at all. Not even within 40, 50, 60 yards of where his ball was every hole. So we're helping him look. The next day we get to the big course. I'm like, ask the caddy manager. I'm like, so they got a caddy today, right? No caddy. No. I'm like, dead to me. Not looking for one ball. I mean, you dug your own.
We made that pact pretty early.
Yes,
we're not looking for their ball.
We're not doing this. It's like if I'm that guy out here on an incentive trip, if it's the last penny I have, I will spend it on a caddy to watch this guy struggle around here.
It's the whole saying we came up with a while back: how to be cheap at a free event.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
It enhances the experience tremendously. I mean, having an idea of where to putt, and those types of things, the stories that we've developed over the years.
So much fun. So much fun shooting the breeze. I mean, and this year was the second day was just crazy with the elements. The wind was blowing. You had to factor wind into your putts. I mean, it was crazy.
Nothing worse.
Nothing worse. Oh, it's brutal. It was brutal. I mean, the seventh hole was 99. We were playing it. What were you playing when you got there? We were playing at like 150, 55.
Aye, it was right, 160. The boys couldn't. It's very difficult to explain to people how to play in the wind because you're saying here, take your 170 club, but don't try and hit it 170. Punch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Waste of time.
Exactly.
Absolute waste of time.
Yes.
So with these guys, that's what's fun about caddying for DT and this guy BJ that he plays with. BJ, by the way.
Hold on. Sorry.
BJ.
Yeah. Don't get too quick in the way you say that there.
But I mean, they can play. They both can play. They can hit it. He can roll the rock. He can make putts. BJ was struggling big time with the putter this week, but this guy BJ is the most high and low guy I've ever met.
Really?
He makes a birdie, chips in for eagle or whatever. He's just hoorah, and then when he hits a bad shot, he damn near cries. He's so upset. He puts his head down, starts walking, moping, throwing clubs.
BJ? I've known him through the years, just from the industry, and then when Rick was leaving Bolingbrook, I called him and I said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming over and taking over their instruction?" And a couple years later, he came over. So I've known him probably since 2015-ish or 14, somewhere in there. But yeah, he's a riot. He's fun to be around, and
he's a gem.
We were chuckling at him. I mean, almost we'd just give each other a glance, and
he's the kind of guy he would hit a bad shot and it'd be like a delayed reaction. So we'd both look at each other and then wait for his reaction. He'd do something funny, and he's like kind of Tourette-ish, like he'd yell something really loud, and it's just hilarious. Just watching his mannerisms. He's a great dude, and he can get it around, but when it's going bad, man, it's...
Is he a club thrower?
Oh, he's a club thrower. Some good trajectory too.
He threw in probably about 70 yards on 10. It seemed like it was a full on chuck.
Yeah.
And the other two guys you were playing with, were they decent lads or?
They were fine. I mean, they were okay lads, but just it was father son, and the dad just had no concept of where his ball was. I mean, every single hole, and that just it gets old after a while. I mean,
we had to ask them 36 times over the 2 days what they shot. What was your score on that hole?
You're keeping score on the app. He's keeping score on the hard card. I'm keeping score on the app, and it's like every single hole. He's like, "What
was the par? What was the par?"
Yeah.
At a certain point, just after you finish the hole, say, I had 5, I had 7, like you usually did.
Hard work.
Yeah, it was.
That's real hard work.
But it was a fun tournament. We actually had a good run. We were in the mix for a while until there at the end. There was a funny happening on the 5th hole. He dropped like a 50-footer, front edge to a back pin, dropped it. But every par 3 was closest to the pin in the tournament.
Was it a good read?
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a perfect
That was a good one.
If I say so myself, it was a perfect
read. A perfect read from 50 feet. You don't believe it. Doesn't exist.
I mean, you got to get lucky to make one of those. But anyway, so I look at the closest to the pin because there's a skins game, and I see 20 inches on there. I'm like, well, the guy tapped in. Of course, it's not going to hold up for a skin.
But good too.
Yeah, great too. And good on you, because, I mean, it was playing ridiculous. You had to aim 30 yards right, and it was playing 30 yards more than the yardage. So I figured it might hold up, but when I saw 20 inches, no way. He texted me at 11 o'clock last night. He said, "You're never going to believe it. That 2 held up on 5. I said, "What?" I said, "The guy missed a 20-incher?" He goes, "No. The guy didn't know the difference between feet and inches. He put 20 with, the two hash marks for inches when he didn't know 1 hash mark meant foot."
Oh, no.
Unbelievable.
How many people played in the tournament?
I believe it was 72.
And that group that hit it 20 inches, a.k.a. 20 feet, they were the first group through.
So all the guys 18 groups behind?
Stymied everybody behind us.
Because we had one guy that hit it inside 20.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah. That is a nightmare. But he won the skin, so.
Did you win? You win money for skins?
Cash, yeah.
Cash money.
Cash money, homie.
So yeah, tell us about yourself then, Dave. This one is I don't think we've ever had anyone like you on the podcast.
I don't know if we've ever had a club pro at all.
Yeah, club pro guy. Are you club pro guy?
Club pro guy.
You could be, or I mean, he's from that general area, right?
He's pretty good, isn't he?
So where are you? You're Chicago.
Outside of Chicago, and the club's in a city called Bolingbrook. It's Bolingbrook Golf Club, and been there since 2014. And actually, tomorrow is my 10-year anniversary at the club.
Oh, nice.
So that's
kind
of
of
fun.
What are you going to do for it? They're going to throw you a big party?
I'm going to go to work and pull carts, and
are they going to
get
give you
ready
some
for
recognition for that, or?
We'll see. Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Surprise
hope
party.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe a surprise party.
Nice.
We're a 18-hole. It's an Arthur Hills facility. Our clubhouse is 76,000 square feet.
Got to get that extra 6,000 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70 is just not enough, so go a little more. And we do maybe 25 to 30,000 rounds a year, and
because the season's short, isn't it?
Season can be short, but we do that almost intentionally just to keep rounds a little bit down. We're a little higher end in our area, so it's the place is a locomotive. It constantly is going on. Our banquet area is just cranking all year long, cranking.
Oh, so what is the season in Chicago?
Well, right now we're open, so this is unusual.
No temporary greens, like you're open.
We're open, yeah.
Because I used to watch ER, and the snow was there a lot.
I mean,
I was thinking it's 6-month season.
Yeah, opens in like late May and closes in end of September.
I mean, we shut it down December 23rd this year, so that's pretty late. And then we opened last week, so that's pretty unusual as well. So it's this year's probably going to be a pretty long season.
Did you grow up there in that area?
No, originally from Minnesota. Lived there until I was about 15 years old and moved to Chicago in 88.
Nice.
Had a short stint in Arizona where I got into the golf world. And when I was down to the 36-hole resort in Arizona, and when I moved back to Chicago, I worked at a club for about 7 years and then ran my own landscaping company for a few years and got back into golf after that. And
nice. Did you get your PGA membership in Arizona?
I did.
Where was the course there?
Gold Canyon Golf Resort.
Does it still exist?
It does. I just played it last week.
Oh, fantastic!
Or that's where I played Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you play in school growing up?
I did not.
No,
just kind of a range rat type of thing. And then when I went to Arizona, I went there, and I think in '97, really couldn't even break 90.
Seriously, wow.
Yeah,
that's
and
surprising.
so when I got there,
Zabbo said you still haven't shot broken 90.
It felt like it yesterday. Let me tell you,
it was tough.
But yeah, when I got, and then just living and breathing golf, I kind of got better pretty quick. So
nice.
Yeah.
And have you played much competitive golf in the PGA professional capacity?
No, I don't get in those very often. For me, most of them are maybe an hour away, 45 minutes away, and it's the alternative of, can I take a day off, or do I want to drive up there, spend a few hundred and play in a tournament because we got, there's some very good players. Well, in every section there's good players, but I'm not quite there.
I'm going to get straight in to the meat and gravy here, because as a regular listener, certainly been around the Zabbo for this number of years. Few things about hole-in-ones. Have you ever had any?
I have not.
Zero?
Join the club.
I've got a bag of almosts, but never went in.
Have you played many par 3 courses?
Yeah, I've played a couple.
Have you had any hole-in-one and par 3 courses?
I have not.
He's just said he never had a hole-in-one. Of course, he would have claimed it had he had one.
Where are you? Okay. Take your loyalty away from him, right?
Okay.
Where are you on the debate whether a hole-in-one and a par 3 counts?
So I thought about this. We played the hay on Tuesday, and I thought a lot about it. And I thought, you know what? If I made one from 88 yards or whatever the yardage was, I think I'll count it.
Desperate. I think it was 38.
48.
Yeah.
48.
He adds on a yard every month. Okay.
Gets longer.
Have you ever worn white pants?
I've never worn white pants.
He really doesn't have the figure for that. Let's face it.
Well, a lot of people that wear them don't have the figure. That's the point.
Very valid point.
And then white belt?
Not in a long time. Back in the day, I did wear a white belt.
Back in the 80s?
Back in the early 2000s.
You've worked in both capacities. Resort, have you worked at an exclusively private club and then a municipal, or just resort and then the municipal course?
I was resort in Phoenix, and when I came back to Chicago, I was at a municipal Springbrook golf course, and after the landscaping company, I went to the sister course of Springbrook called Naperbrook, and also a Park District golf course, and that's when I ended up at Bolingbrook.
Gotcha.
But yeah, never a full private. I don't know how much I'd survive at a private club. I'd probably be ousted pretty quick.
Yeah, I could see that.
Tell me about the landscaping business.
So it all started. So I used to clear driveways in the winters,
All
with
right.
a buddy of mine, and he owned a company, and we would talk all the time about what it would take to get started and so on and so forth. And my wife, actually, I'll make a long story short, she fell down the stairs, broke her back. She's fine.
Oofed.
But we were, in the ER, we didn't know she was fine, so we were talking about, are we happy? Are we doing what we want to be doing? And so then I left the golf business, and that's when I decided to, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start this landscape company. And I still joke that the first year I would have probably started making money is when I got back into golf.
So it was taking off, and you were like, we got to start making money.
I think year 4 would have been pretty good,
Yeah.
and I went back into golf.
How deep was that landscaping? Is it just?
I mean, it was, for what I did was mainly just lawn maintenance is how I started, mowing lawns. And I had the trailer. I had all the tools. I went out and bought all that stuff. So I looked legit.
3 years you did that?
3 years I did that. And in all the while, I was trying to find a very specific role back in golf. I was looking to try to teach somewhere, and nothing was panning out. And a spot opened up at the sister course for the course I was at, and I decided to go for it. And got that one, and I said, okay, I'm back in the business. It's a good place to get the rust off because I knew the course, I knew the staff, I knew everybody there, and close to home. And then, the difference was at Springbrook, I was kind of just hoping for the next year to be a full-time employee, hoping I'd get full-time. Mm-hmm. At Naperbrook, I was, and I thought, okay, I'm going to be more aggressive in finding my next role, from here. So
these golf courses sound like TV shows, don't they? Springbrook.
Brook.
Yeah. And would you be an assistant then, or did you go straight in as a?
I was an assistant at Naperbrook, the first assistant at Naperbrook, rather. And when I went to Bolingbrook, I was the first assistant and got the head professional position there probably about 2 years after I started.
What would be? Because I really don't know. I've known golf pros all my life. I don't really know what they do. Like, give us an assistant. If you're the first assistant, like, what's your day to day?
You're in the shop. You're answering phones. You're, at Bolingbrook specifically, I'm helping members, get whatever they need, and merchandising and cart fleet management. Just it's the day-to-day operation. Really that's the resume answer, right?
Everything apart from playing golf.
Yeah, exactly right. That's 100%
and managing your
correct.
Staff, right? I mean, you're
Absolutely
managing your staff. I mean.
I always, if they're not happy, then it's not going to go well. So that's a big priority of mine, is to make sure that they're good to go.
What's more difficult, the golfers or the staff?
Golfers by 100%.
Oh,
yeah. What is the clientele at Bolingbrook? Are you more blue collar, or what kind of people are playing your course?
We have probably, upper middle class, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
We're well over $100 to play, so it's for that area that's a little bit higher. So a lot of people come to our course and they treat it like that's the special round of the year.
Oh, okay.
We always kind of joke, well, it's not that great.
So there's not
you can come more often if you want.
There's not a bunch of riffraff. I mean, you got to have a little riffraff here
There's
and there.
definitely riffraff.
Any good stories or like crazy things you've seen at your golf course, like riffraff fights?
We've had
fighting golfers. Yeah,
we had a fight last year, even though everybody that was involved with it denied that there was a fight. But we had multiple people. It was once it was slow play. There's the group behind them was hitting into them, and they met up on a tee. They started jawing a little bit, and one of our members actually jacked a guy in the other group, and we got phone calls because there's a couple neighborhoods around the club, and we got a call from them, and hey, you got guys fighting on the course, and we've run out there, and everyone's like, no, we were yelling at each other, but nothing else happened. It's like, okay, it's not what I'm hearing, but
fun times.
But yeah, and then we've had. It's been a lot of interesting things. One morning, this guy, my assistant, comes in and he's like, hey, Dave, you need to come out here and check this out. And I go out there, and it's just this guy's kind of all wet. I'm like, it's very odd looking, for 9:30 in the morning or whatever it was. And he woke up in the rough on our 18th hole, has no recollection of how he got there,
Jeez.
Didn't have a phone, didn't have his wallet. He says he feels like he remembers someone throwing his stuff in the pond. And it was just... that's all he had, a real thick Russian accent.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, man, with this,
Sure, it wasn't Scottish.
let's not get involved with this. Russian mob dumped this guy out here.
That happened to me at the other brook.
Gotcha.
One of the other.
Springbrook, yeah.
It wasn't Springbrook, it was Bottlebrook.
Yeah.
We've had it all. We've had carts through the fence line. We've had carts in bunkers, carts in ponds. It's
Nothing surprises you.
nothing surprises me much
any
anymore.
houses around the course?
Yeah, we have 3 neighborhoods. We have one that's kind of large single-family homes, and there's a section that's got large townhomes.
And the houses are on the course?
Yeah, just 3 holes. It's our 3rd hole, 5th hole, and 15.
Where do you stand on golf ball making damage, causing damage
Breaking
to
a
houses?
window, yeah.
I always say if you did hit that ball, the right thing to do is for you to at least discuss that with the homeowner. If you two don't want to work it out or something like that, don't make me the judge and jury. But the house is on the course. It's going to happen.
You ever hear the expression? There's 3 sides to every story. His, and the truth. So there's the right decision, the wrong decision, and the wise decision. So yes, if you hit the golf ball and cause damage, you should go and at least say, here, listen, it was me. But technically, does your course have a policy on it?
No, we don't actually. No. I mean, golfer's responsible, but the thing is, if the golfer doesn't hone up to it, what do you do? I mean, it's hard to just say, no, we know you did hit it, when if they're all saying no, it's hard to, I didn't see it, so it's difficult. It's a tough spot.
I heard of a story once
where
tough spot. The guy actually had the logo of his company on the ball and denied it was him.
It's like those idiots that put their phone number on the ball. If you find this ball, call. Yeah, don't be hitting that one through the window.
A lot of courses in Scotland, they'll add 50 pence. 50 pence is probably about 70 cents of every tee time goes towards the insurance policy, and the golf course will pay for that.
Really?
Interesting idea.
And there was a guy a regular listener, he was getting very, very hot around the collar a few weeks ago talking about this very thing because his car get damaged or his house get damaged. And I said, well, when was the house built? It was after the fact.
There you go.
He says, well, really, technically, by the law, you're responsible. But, it really is. If you're going to live in a golf course, what do you expect?
In most of our homes that are on our course are set back fairly deep. So if you do hit a home, I mean, it's a big miss, but so it doesn't happen a lot, but obviously it happens. There's no question.
Is there a lot of corporate groups and events, tournaments at your course? Do you close on Mondays to bring in revenue for corporate groups?
Yeah, a lot might be a strong word, but we do probably 25 events a year, full field shotguns, and that's where the wild comes out. Those are
open bar, drinking off the cart.
Tons of alcohol on the golf course, and it's funny. I mean, because you see guys, they'll come finish their round and they can't, they look like the Phoenix Open guys where they're walking on a 45-degree angle, and it's like,
what's wrong with that?
You were out there 4 hours.
Then they get in their car and drive home.
Yeah, and we've learned to spot those guys, and we suggest Ubers, and we'll talk to the coordinators of the event and things like that. But it's comical. I mean, we've had, and I will be honest, it's always the volunteers. It's
the volunteers that get wasted.
There's always one that's just. Here's a good story if we have time.
We do.
So Naperbrook, Timmy Dunn is their head pro. He's a good buddy of mine. He calls me one day, and I'm upstairs. The outing's done playing. They're moving upstairs, and he says, "Hey, I got a good one for you." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I got one of your carts in our circle drive." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, some lady just showed up, no shoes, no phone, no nothing. She's, blitzed, and she's just yelling at everybody that I just need to get stuff out of I'm just here to get stuff out of the truck. I'm just here to get stuff out of the truck. That golf course is a half a mile from us. So she had to go down a couple, regular roads to get there, and didn't pick up on it that she, maybe she's gone too far. But that was a good one.
You've managed a lot of professionals, cart staff people.
Yeah.
Beverage cart. How many have you had to fire many people in your career?
No, not really. Just a couple. One of them, and it was awful. I felt so bad. The kid, so we take our cart. Our range is double sided. On our end, or the main clubhouse side, we need to go down every now and then to our golf academy, fill up our ball cart, and when he was backing it up to the doors, instead of hitting the gas, instead of hitting the brake, he hit the gas and rammed the doors, and my GM was livid, and he's like, I don't care. Get him out of here. I'm done with these mistakes and everything. And the kid was crying. It was an awful termination, in my opinion. But
how old was he?
You got to do it. He was
41.
It was BJ. No, he was. He's a young kid, senior in high school, maybe a freshman in college or something like that.
That's
but he was crushed.
Yeah.
It's character building.
It was.
I mean, you got to know the difference. And saying that, I was in the garage the other day. Nearly did the same thing.
Yeah, it can happen, right?
Exactly, yeah. It can happen to the best of us.
It's funny, you can back a card into that and get fired, but you could do like 1,000 times worse as a caddy and never get canned in your whole life. Like that is nothing compared to what some of our caddies do in these club jobs.
100%.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, smoking weed directly in front of the players, offering them weed on the tee box. Yeah.
Oh, it's your boy.
Caesar, baby.
That's Zabbo's new boy.
He is my boy. That's my boy Caesar. I love Caesar.
Hooking him up with Aggie. What do you call it? Aggie tuna?
Ahi tuna. Yeah, seared ahi tuna. And oh man, Caesar the man.
Boys, we're going to take a wee break now because we're halfway through. We're now going to play a little advert from our sponsor,
Big Game Golf.
Are you a caddy who sometimes gets bored in the job? Are you struggling to stay engaged with your players on the golf course? If this is you, you need to download the Big Game Golf app today. Not only can you use the app when playing golf yourself, but the app is a fantastic tool to stay engaged with your players while doing your job. Whether you're keeping score using the e-scorecard feature or introducing your players to one of the over 30 money games on offer, the app will offer both you and your players a more fun and engaging experience on the course. The Big Game Golf app is free to download, easy to use, and it also integrates with the USGA to automatically pull players' handicaps. You can even text everyone the final results. The extra effort on your part may even help boost your tip, and please find me a caddy who wouldn't be interested in that. Start today and download the Big Game Golf app. Dave, as a pro, is there a use for Big Game Golf in your industry?
Absolutely. Our men's club at Bolingbrook plays every Saturday and Sunday, and all the game. It's a different game every week. It's the same players, obviously. Saves them a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah.
And the arguments are over. There's no griping. It's all that good stuff. And
I don't know if the arguments will ever be over. Right?
That's fair
because we're golfers.
Less to argue about.
Less to argue about.
There's actual concrete proof of this is how much money you owe me.
Yeah.
You still didn't make a 5. You made a 7. You didn't make a 5. But this is how much money you owe me.
But absolutely. I mean, it's a valuable tool, no question about it.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Thank you to the boys, and I'm sure the new app is literally weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
You said the most frustrating thing about your job then, golfers.
Golfers.
Yes. Give us 3 or 4 things about golfers that you just every single day it happens. Like
drives you nuts.
As caddies, we deal with it. Same thing. So
it's the lack of just respect, common decency to know that you are not the only group on the golf course, and that there's
preach it.
These guys. I always call them the I paid my money brigade. So did everybody else.
Exactly.
And I mean we've had groups or this one group in particular. They took 3 hours to play the front 9, and while they were letting groups go, around them, it was great. But it was like, guys, maybe we call it a day.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 hours for 9 holes. They were hammered, and they were
just can't handle it.
I will give it. I'll tip my cap to them. They were like, okay, that's fine. Probably a good call. And but yeah, the common decency is just there's zero. The players, the groups that we've had groups come into our restaurant at the turn, sit down, order their lunch. And they're there 40 minutes, and then they just shoot.
Zabbo would love that.
They just shoot to the 10th tee.
There's time.
Yeah, if the time allows.
Can I have a box to go?
I need a bacon cheeseburger, extra bacon.
And then, and actually, something I learned on this trip, move forward. You'll have a lot more fun. I was didn't realize I was being 50 years old, I was a white tee guy this trip.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he gave me the
I was
mobile
goaded
scoring.
into going up.
Yeah, well, he's like, no, I'm going to play the goals. I'm like, look, you're playing a tournament for money. if they're going to allow you to play this tee, let's shoot a better number. Let's move up a tee and shoot a better number.
Yeah. When you shot 85, no one's going to ask what tees you played.
Almost, yeah, right. That's right.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. But I know, okay.
But I think if everybody would just understand that there's a lot of people to get around the golf course, and think of other people for 5 minutes, I think everything would be a little
that's
smoother.
life in general, mate.
That's true. That's very true.
Not the only person in the world. Yeah.
That's the society that we've become.
It's true.
I'm going to disagree with you, though, on the going in for lunch thing. That's no problem at all for me.
Why is that?
We'll go in 40 minutes. Groups just keep going through and then just slot back in.
Yeah, that doesn't happen, though, where we are.
It doesn't happen where we are.
Well, people stop for lunch, but the marshal just like runs in there and ushers them along when they're 20 minutes behind and the group's clear on the next green, but they're not going to let the group behind them through because they don't want to mix match the groups. They don't want
that whole thing where you nearly get sacked for jumping the group.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we
did
where
the right
problem
thing.
comes
We
in.
did the right thing, though.
But what's the problem with that?
There is no problem.
In Scotland, we would, growing up what I did, would have a lot of public play, and then you'd also have the members. And the public were obviously slower. We just step aside, folks. You look for your ball, great.
Yeah.
We just light you through.
Right.
There was no difference to the pace of play. It's a cultural difference to America to here.
It is. There's resentment when you let somebody through.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
is. Everybody's like, no, we'll just play faster. We'll just won't care, and we'll just do what we're doing. I mean,
Yeah, it's amazing the dynamic of golfers. Where I've always said everyone's an asshole from 100 yards on a golf course.
Yes.
And then they find out they went to the same school, and all of a sudden they're best friends. But there'll be the one where the group ahead are slow, so we'll just stay on top of them, as opposed to just maybe drop it in at third and just enjoy ourselves.
yeah, start hitting into them
Yes.
a little.
Right.
They're just in range, but maybe they'll hear this and look back and realize we're right on their tails.
Oh, we had a belter the other day, actually. We were getting pushed. Myself and Eddie are working a job. We're at the wee course. We're on the 7th. Now, the group behind, they're caddies from a different course. I know they've followed. You know what I mean? So they've been with them before.
Yeah.
They're having a serious match, I can tell. On day 2, by the 7th hole, you know how good your players are. You know
how far they hit it.
Yeah. So we're on 7, and we know how wet it is. Our boys have hit our second shots, 225 out. Okay. So it's about 300 from the tee, 310. And all of a sudden, I'm turning to talk to wee Eddie. This ball flies over his head. Right, missed him by about. Listen, it's Eddie. It wouldn't have done much damage, okay?
Not much there. Yeah.
But it flies over his head, 2 feet from his head. It plugs right in front of him. And we're after the initial, wow, we're looking back. I throw my hands up in the air. He pulls the ball out, and he like cleans it. I says, I hope you're putting that in your pocket. And he said, oh, good idea. So we took the ball. Okay,
Good for Eddie.
because I'm like, no, you don't do that.
Yeah. That's
So we now go on the green, and
Where's my ball? Where's my ball?
we see them all looking for the ball.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
classic.
right in the middle
That
of
is
the
great.
fairway.
I don't think they're going to find that ball.
Yeah.
It was classic. We told the players. I said they won't find that ball.
Lost
Why is
the
that?
hole.
I says because it's in Eddie's bib.
Yeah,
But,
perfect.
yeah, no, it's this. Just accept the pace of play it is for the day.
Yes.
And do you have marshals at the course that will keep things?
Yeah.
Out?
Yeah. And we've asked a lot of groups that, hey, can you go to the fairway on 12 or skip 12 altogether? And
That's
most,
a good way to do it.
a lot of people are a little upset, but very many are cooperative too. And that goes a long way. The problem is then you just have a rubber band
Yeah.
behind it, and you don't totally regain good pace, but you've made an effort. There's no doubt.
Is there a demographic for your marshals? Are they all retired,
They're all retired.
wanting free golf?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. We probably have a lot of employees that don't even play golf, and
It's probably not a
which
bad
is
thing.
great. I love it.
Yeah.
If a kids come to me and say I'm on the golf team, that's wonderful. But at the same time, I know there's gonna be a range rat. They're gonna play a ton of golf, which I'm not against. But when they tell me I can't work Tuesday and then they're on the first tee at 10:30, that bothers me. but
That's funny.
But yeah, no, they're all good guys, and I always say that they have probably the toughest job on the golf course, in my opinion.
Do you do any training with them?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We talk a lot about verbiage to use and how to approach groups because it's a difficult situation. You just paid $140 or whatever, and now we're asking you to skip holes, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always go over great, but we do a pretty good job at it, I hope.
I'm shocked. It seems that everywhere I've ever been, the marshals are all retired age, probably used to be in some sort of form of authority, school teaching, police, used to talking to people in a certain way. You ain't in the classroom anymore, Tom, and the training seems to be non-existent. How as caddies we learn how to talk to people.
Oh, some of it's atrocious. The way they talk to, and you're talking, they're paying $140. Some of these guys are paying, $600, $700, and to get talked to like they're getting talked to $600-$700, not including the rooms that they're paying $1,000 a night. So they're spending, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a trip, and they're getting talked to like
they're a child.
Exactly.
We were in the fourth hole wee course the other day. We're waiting in every shot. We're about an hour for the first 3 holes. We get done in the fourth green. The marshal's waiting there. He says, "Oh, listen, guys, just so you know that I've moved that group along. They were really slow. You've fallen behind them now, so please keep up." I'm just thinking,
get out of here. Get out of here right now.
We're just waiting for them to get off the green. Do you even hear yourself?
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
When you go to other courses, are you literally watching everyone do their job and thinking, this is how I do it, that's how I just change it?
It's a curse of the job for sure. I evaluate everything, I feel like, and I try to be very cautious of being critical, because I know there's, I like to think anyway that behind the scenes there's a lot of people trying to do some good work, and everybody's working hard and trying to do the right thing. And but yeah, I mean, mistakes happen. We're not perfect at Bolingbrook either, but short answer, yes. I evaluate everything. My family can't stand it.
What's the club sandwich at your place like? Out of 10?
It's out of a 10?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm not a big club sandwich guy, but I do like our club sandwich. I'll give it a 7.5.
Really? That's low.
How's the carne asada at your local Chipotle?
Very consistent.
It's important to know.
I always, wherever I go, golf course, I always take the menu, I go through it, and I always end up with a club. I'll have a
He's
perversion.
a club sandwich kind of guy.
Yep, turkey club.
Yeah.
And do they offer coleslaw, onion rings, and fries? Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good menu. It's a great restaurant.
Do you eat there every day?
Eat there more than I want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of tough, isn't it?
Over, I was really disappointed when they got rid of breakfast back in
that's
17 or something like that.
Darn
but it hurt. But
love a good breakfast.
It probably helped me a lot.
So, do you ever have caddies at the courses?
No, it's a difficult walking course.
Well, that wouldn't matter. Just throw them in a cart.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, he texted me before he came in. He's like, "So what do you think? Should we throw him on a cart?" And I just kind of chuckled in my head. I was like, yes, we should throw him on a cart. Absolutely, we should throw him on a cart.
I said, Mike liked it. So I'm assuming that means we'll take a cart. But
yeah.
And it was great. It worked out really well.
It worked out great.
I think everyone thinks the idea is, we'll go on a 3-4 day golf trip and I'll walk. The reality is,
they're not used to walking.
You're not used to walking.
Right.
When was the last time you walked 28 miles, George?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to walk 3-4 days in a row. Get out of here.
1977. Get in the car, behave yourself, and you can walk up 18.
Exactly.
You don't worry.
We picked our spots, nice flat downhill kind of.
Even if your course isn't walkable, it's just, take a cart.
Yeah, and we've talked about a caddy program, and when I first got there, we discussed it. Probably 2 years later, we discussed it, and it just hasn't taken off yet. But maybe that's a nice addition. Actually, I'd love to do it.
The way you would do it is you'd probably have 12 guys, locals,
small,
semi-retired, couple of kids, call in advance. Take the money in advance, though. Do you when people book a tee-off time, do you charge them over the phone or when they arrive?
Weekend mornings. Or prepay.
Prepay.
Yeah, but outside of that, no.
Yeah, you could do it where you take the base fee up front, so at least then they're committed. They can't just change their mind.
Are you trying to give our local program suggestions? Because they don't do that.
What could golfers do to make your job easier?
Most people, what I love about it is most people are in a great mood when they show up, right? I mean, they're going to tee it up.
Typically,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
It's they're not going to the dentist office, they're going to tee it up with probably with friends or whatever, have some cocktails. But it's when things go south, it's difficult to convince someone who's half in the bag that, you're too slow or whatever it might be. And I just, that's I think would be a great maybe they could work one day in my life, and that would change their opinion on how things go on the golf course.
What's the mood of the people like once they finish the golf?
Are they still as happy as when they showed up?
Most times, yeah, but our course is much like, it's wide open. So Arthur Hill's, kind of rolling hills, and when it's blowing hard. And it
Chicago,
beats
it
people
gets
up.
windy.
It beats people up pretty good. So they're tired. They're, wow, man, that was a tough round, and our greens are a lot of undulation to them. But yeah, they're, usually they're in a pretty good mood.
How many green staff do you have working?
He had 17, I think, full-timers.
On one course?
Yeah.
That's incredible. I was at Half Moon Bay, 23 full-time guys for 2 courses.
Jeez, that's not many.
It's because it's the Plumbers Union that own it.
The Plumbers Union owns the golf resort.
Yeah.
Wow.
They own the land.
That was a
San Mateo.
great podcast, by the way. That came out very good.
Yeah,
I learned that I can actually drink out of the chemical tank, and not if I'm thirsty, I just drink a little out of the chemical, and I'll be fine.
Don't drink out of the pond in 11 on the week course.
Yeah.
Dude, a couple of people text me about that. I don't believe that you can drink the chemicals.
I know. He's like, oh, yeah, you drink it. I mean, it wouldn't taste good, but you wouldn't get sick. I was like, bro, I'm not drinking. And the white suit thing throws me off, too. I mean, I get that there's regulation in California, but yeah, they're wearing a white suit for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever I see those golf balls and they're covered in the green stuff, and Kip and I always talked about how 3 pairs of trainers he goes through a year. Because
those chemicals eat through the soles of your shoes. I 100% agree with them.
Oh, but don't worry, Zabbo. It's okay for your gut.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Saying that the food he eats, it probably is okay. Wash it down.
Iron stomach.
I was going to say iron stomach. Trained.
Do you ever get many golfers coming into the shop and complaining about the condition of the course?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've had members. They'll complain about the collars. And it's like
it's too long. It's too short.
You're right. And I've learned very quickly that a lot of those complaints come with their scorecard.
Yeah.
And if they had a great round, the course is in perfect condition.
It's a great golf course. I love the course. If you play well, it's a great golf course.
If they played awful, there's everything's wrong with the golf course out there.
The cup wasn't cut right.
How about that one where the guy wanted all the cups painted?
Yeah.
And the end, like, what?
Come on.
Really?
Every single cup on every single course.
Imagine getting that job.
Yeah.
36 holes, you got to go and paint the cups. And they change their hole locations at Half Moon Bay every day.
Every day.
Imagine doing 36 of those. Like, you'd literally...
That gets old.
I
could tell from his response, they don't paint the cups there. He was firmly against that.
I love him. He said, doesn't matter what you do, the cup is going to get destroyed with it.
It doesn't matter, bro. Two groups through, it's done.
Well, we have the same thing when people talk about going to Scotland or Ireland. You say, what was your favourite course? And they'll say St Andrews or they'll say Carnoustie. And it's always because they shot the best number.
Yeah.
Right.
It's never like, oh yeah, I shot 105 at Crail.
Loved it.
But absolutely loved
Great course.
Loved every swing.
The layout was just beautiful. Have you haven't played a lot of professional golf tournaments, but have you ever witnessed cheating by a professional and witnessed it to the point where it was uncomfortable, you had to call them out, like seeing them fluff a lie or write down a wrong score?
In a professional event?
Yeah, have you seen any pros cheating?
I have not. No.
It is a rarity, I think, among PGA pros, but it does happen. And
for sure. I know a lot of our guys in the section, and I feel like people would be called out pretty quick and exposed. Plus, that's another karma thing, right? I mean, if you're doing that, that's
what are you doing in your other life? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the
that's
other aspects of your life. Yeah,
in your private life.
Yeah, exactly.
Answers in a postcard. I think that these types of events we just played, though, 3 and 4 day pro-am type things, the gimme becomes a little more generous by the time you get towards the end.
Yeah, it definitely
Agreed.
depends on the group. Like our group, we legitimately hold everything out.
Oh, of course, because Zabbo was caddying. Yes,
I made sure it was
especially with a microphone.
Other than the other two guys, we're giving them everything because it's like, bro, yeah, just pick it up. You didn't find your ball back there anyways. You made an 8, so yeah. But we hold everything out. I mean, one of us, it was a best ball thing, so we hold everything out.
Okay.
But I did see other groups just swiping them. I'm standing there on 18 and see him on 6, and it's like 5 feet, and you just see the guy kick it away. It's like, oh, that's good.
Do you think that rules are important for amateur golfers?
I think there's a fine line there, right? There has to be some kind of a set of rules. I think it should be much simpler to understand. Number one, which I think they're trying to do. But still, I love net double bogey, but you can get a triple. So why call it, I think net double bogey confuses people. But anyway, I think there needs to be some sort of set of rules that you play by. But at the same time, don't get upset, right? You're not good enough. Isn't that, I've heard that on this a couple times. But
not from us? No.
Yeah.
No chance.
Nobody's good. You are going out there to have a good time. So don't get too caught up in, should I drop here or over there, or should I take a penalty here? I think people lose sight of why they're on the golf course, which is to have a good time and hang out with people. I was telling a guy in the hotel that I said, I'm a terrible golfer. You guys would hate playing with me. And I said, that's not what it's about for most of us anyway. I'm in for whoever the foursome is and having a good time and learning a little bit about somebody through 18 holes of golf and just having fun. If you shoot 62 or 102, I really could care less.
On the front or the back?
Back.
We
saw it on the back yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Well, yesterday was a war of attrition. Do you do anything at the club to help beginners, say, invite them, they can pay to come and have drinks, something to eat, and then you could teach them rules and then do some putting or clinics like that?
We've done that in the past. Actually, we just talked about kind of revisiting that.
Who's we?
Me and myself and our staff.
Okay.
And our GM, we've talked to him about it. And, having a little buffet breakfast, go over some of the basic rules and talk about etiquette and things like that. And then, if it's nice enough, go out, have a clinic afterwards and have BJ kind of show everybody the ropes. And I think we're actually going to give it a go. That's about 2 weeks old. We've been talking about that. So
I like that.
Yeah, it'll be a good idea.
There's not enough help for beginners, I don't think.
It's true.
I think most of it is, again, like the money in the golf is for the elite.
Right.
The top players, and the beginners are sort of left behind.
That's true. I mean, we have quite a few clinics at our course that are dedicated to beginner golfers, and they, those are the great lessons because they're so excited. They can't believe they just hit that shot, and that's very rewarding when you can get someone to do that, and it kind of hooks them in a little bit.
For sure, 100%.
And in your shop, do you have a full golf clubs merchandise?
Yeah, our shop's 2,200 square feet, and it's we carry FootJoy, Swannies, Nike. We have Bobby Jones in there.
Strixon, Cleveland.
We got Strixon in Cleveland.
What do you sell most? What's the most popular brands that you're selling?
Like soft goods or
soft.
Yeah, we sell a lot of FootJoys right in the sweet spot for price point.
Yeah.
We brought in Bobby Jones late last year. It did very well for us, so we're giving that another go. And Sun Ice rain gear has done pretty good for us.
What about golf balls?
Balls, we sell a lot of Strixon and the other one.
So typically, the old school clubs like Northeast, the pros would always own their pro shop, get 100%. And most clubs nowadays don't do that.
It's hard to find.
Do you get pieces of the pro shop, or is that?
I do not.
You do not. Yeah, that's all the club. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, it's.
So there's really. Are you one of the buyers? Do you buy the goods? Or you do.
Yeah.
So that's just included in your salary. They don't expect to give you more for performance of the pro shop. Wow,
correct.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That
dynamic has really changed in the world of professional golf. It used to
big
be
time. And carts.
Bread and butter of the PGA Pro was owning the pro shop. Yeah, and carts
and the cart fleet.
Exactly. Yeah.
I spoke to a pro this week, and he had the most unique, probably like what you're talking about. He owns everything in the shop, everything that is sort of tangible, i.e., not the golf course. He gets all of it.
Really?
He owns the carts. He owns everything in the shop.
Is he New England or New York?
New York.
Yep, there you go. It's still very standard up in that area. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, they make good money.
He makes a fortune.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And because I've met people in the past and say, I get 15% of anything that comes through the shop, but he's in a nice little earner. You ever have someone shoplifting?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, we did, in fact.
Caught red-handed?
Yeah, twice.
Twice?
So once, same guy.
Same guy?
Yeah, at an outing. He actually
worked for us, yeah.
So the first time was before I was there, but he showed up and literally just walked in, grabbed a bag that had a full set of clubs in it, putter and everything, kind of a display thing, and just walked on out. And, our head pro was pretty savvy at the time, and he said he noticed it was gone, so we went to video and saw him and brought it to the attention of certain people or whatever, and that got resolved. But then fast forward now about 4 or 5 years, he's got a full staff bag of Vokies. And he's out of the pro shop, and he's in, like the entrance of the building and in between the doors.
Yeah.
And my assistant at the time, he happened to see him, like kind of just caught a piece of him leaving and went out there, and he's like, can I help you? And he's like, thought these were for
thought these were free.
Thought these were the gift for the closest to the pin, It's like, yeah, we're going to give you $8,000 in wedges to give away up there.
Jeez.
Hats off to the lad. Perseverance. Never
Yeah.
give up. There's
Act
definitely
like you belong
something
there. Yeah.
That one got him. He was suspended from the golf shop for
I would
a
hope
long
so.
time.
I would hope
Was he a member?
No, he's a local.
He's a local.
I'll just say that. Yeah.
That'd be banning him from property.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
he got a pretty good talking to, from what I understand.
Well, boys, that brings us towards the end. Do we have any shout-outs you want to give out?
I got to shout out my good friend Rick Nelson, who brought me and
Yeah.
DT together here. I mean,
Ricky.
he's back there in Florida living his best life. Also got to shout out BJ, our buddy BJ. Hopefully he's recovered from all the missed shots and not really cussing at himself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was quiet BJ last night, I'll tell
Was
you.
he? Yeah. A little reflective. Well, now he's got to go home. Yeah.
A little side story. My best putt of the day, I
Oh,
thought I
jeez.
whiffed hard, and
He was that guy. He was that guy. He goes, F. He dropped the F bomb, and it was like, I don't know, 8-10 feet. It was moving, but it went right in the heart. I'm like, get out of here.
my
Trained it.
apologies.
Yeah. Good par.
Anyone you want to shout out?
I'd love to shout out my family for letting me chase this white ball around all these years and all that. And then I was going to shout out Ricky as well, and then just everybody out at the club.
Yeah, and remind us where the club is.
Bolingbrook, Illinois. It's about 40 minutes southwest of the city.
Okay.
Look him up. Go say
Come
hi
on
to
out.
DT.
And certainly mention the podcast. Go in there, and you will get $0 off of your
$140. Yeah.
You might get a free bucket of range balls.
Sure.
I just want to say a shout out to Sean, Coach McLaughlin, and his boys. There was Danny, who does a wee bit of caddy. He says he caddies at Shinnecock Hills. I don't believe either of those guys. They both said they were caddies. Sean can't see the ball more than 50 yards. And
Sounds like the guy we played with.
Yeah, right.
And he can't read a putt. So maybe he caddied.
Yeah,
I guess
that's true. That qualifies him.
You could get a job here.
For sure.
Danny, Richard, and then Bobby the Greek. Who was
Bobby
the
the
pro.
Greek.
And Danny told me that his brother, who is a retired New York City homicide detective, is going to start listening. He's known as the Outlaw.
A homicide detective known as the Outlaw.
One of the issues with doing 4 caddies is you don't always get the time to get all these kind of stories
you can't get
in.
all these connections and meet the people.
I would love to have heard more about that. But yeah, big shout out to them. And the Louisiana boys, if you're listening, you know who you are. So that brings us to an end. Dave, many thanks for your
Thank you, Dave.
involvement.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Zabbo, as
the invite.
always,
Thank you.
tremendous. Safe journey home, Dave.
Yeah.
And just for the listeners, thanks for listening. If you're new, go back, listen to the catalogue, 127 previous episodes. If you have any questions for us, comments, podcast at glorifieddonkey.com. But until the next time, many thanks for listening. Get out there, enjoy your golf, but more importantly,
Keep it light out there, folks.